did everyone know about this in the Pokemon world? Like, were you already well aware of this before Logan Paul came on? It was like, content, let's buy that and get my refund afterwards, kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of us were keyed in. There were a lot of like smaller Pokemon blogs that were talking about the origins of the case, and like most of us knew, and that's why I don't believe that Logan Paul didn't know. If I know Logan Paul's not going to spend $3 million on a box he doesn't know, because he's actually a legit collector. He has 5 other booster boxes that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in sealed acrylic cases. He's done large auctions. It's not like he's new to it and got scammed. This is like 100%. This is content, right? So
yeah.
Through and through.
Or potentially money laundering for the more interesting.
So yeah, we're in Chicago. You see the title of the video. This story's f***ing crazy, and it sucks. And I'm out $3.5 million, so make sure to go get some Prime, because every dollar goes right back into my pocket. All right, to go.
You gonna do it, everyone? Or you gonna empty your wallets for Logan Paul, the millionaire guy who's kind of doing cover up for his brother's very serious assault allegations? You know, the rape allegations. Anyways, dig deep.
Is it in here?
The whole thing is in here.
We're sitting in the vicinity of
Holy
11
shit.
first edition base set Pokemon boxes.
Holy
This
shit.
will probably never happen again.
He released this photo to Twitter. Just dropped $3.5 million on the sealed and authenticated box of first edition Pokemon cards.
This was the most anybody had ever spent on Pokemon cards ever.
I'm going to tell you why I don't trust the case, the contents, or the authentication.
There's enough sketchy stuff going on about the origin of this box.
Logan Paul may have spent the $3.5 million on fake Pokemon cards.
This news has now reached Logan Paul, and it seems like he's taking this very seriously. He's going to fly to Chicago and sit down with BBCE to verify the validity of this box.
Did I hear about Forbes richest YouTuber list? I have not. Do you want my trophy, or can I fuck off because Chico didn't win? Oh, then I was serious. Then I have no interest in it. It was Chico or death. I'd ride or die for that guy. He's my son.
Are you nervous? Nope. Well, about that, yes. From looking at it, there's nothing suspicious about the outside of the case.
Quick context, this is Matt. He's one of the biggest sports card collectors in the world, and he bought the Pokemon case for $2.7 million. He then sold it to me for $3.5 million.
Off who? Off who? This is ridiculous. Oh man, what's the adage? A fool and his money is easily parted. Like, when I first saw the headline of this, because this peaked yesterday, right? This was like yesterday's huge story, and I was like, oh man, this is incredible. I need to know what happened. How did someone successfully fool someone else into buying $3.5 million worth of fake Pokemon cards? And how do we get here? Like, I was like, was it through cryptocurrency? Because then I could understand it, as in you paid X amount and the money's already gone, so you can't do anything about it. And then when you receive the package, it was filled with G.I. Joe cards or whatever.
But he's become a close friend, and I could trust that he'd refund me if things went wrong. If we crack open that case tonight, and inside are just a bunch of what do you do?
Well, we know it's not because we went through a security check in Philly. We just happened to go into government.
Minjisku, thanks for the Prime. Appreciate it. I hope it's real. Sports cards and collectibles are a scam, artificially inflated prices. Like, okay, you have to. I'm not a Pokemon go to the polls kind of guy. You have to help me out here, chat. Is Pokemon Go? It's got to be like a sealed first edition, something that makes it super valuable. Is it like most collector cards? Like if you have it in a completely sealed pack, it's gonna be worth so much money.
Building.
We know it's not.
Yeah, we know it's not. The reason why I was mostly concerned was because the person who brought it to me, he had so many inconsistencies, so much inconsistencies in the stories. It was like 3-4 different stories. That was my issue.
The guys from BBCE who authenticated it are here to basically stamp their authentication.
If this is fake, we're all in trouble because it looks so good. There's first edition packs in there. We're golden.
But here's the thing I don't get. Why did you buy the box without looking into it first from homie? I don't get that part. Like, why would you be like, okay, sure, yeah, you bought it for 2.7. That's enough for me. I'll spend 3.5. Like, is it just because you have money to burn?
The case value of this is gonna double, triple.
It would legitimately be verifiably 100% the only sealed case in the world that is 100% real. You're from BBCE?
Yeah, I'm the owner. Yep.
You're the owner of BBCE, and you authenticated this?
Yes. Me and Michael are going to go over, when it came to my office that day, what I looked for. And then we're going to speak back and forth about why we like the seals. If it's good, it's worth a lot more than the 3.
Okay, 1 second. Just before we get the big reveal. Are your Pokemon cards worth money? How to appraise your collection. If you collected Pokemon cards in your youth, chances are you have an old shoebox storing collection somewhere in your mom's basement. Rare Pokemon cards have been known to sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but how can you tell if your cards are actually worth anything? Here's how you determine it. The rarity. The black symbol in the bottom corner of the Pokemon card denotes its rarity. A circle is common, a diamond is uncommon, and a star is rare. Traditionally, the star is black, but a card with the star of an alternate color, such as white or gold, means it's ultra rare. Oh, that's pretty easy. A card bearing a first edition mark on the side means it's from the first print run of a card set, which gives it extra value. Okay. If the card is holographic, it's worth even more. Okay. Over the years, new card types have been introduced that look quite a bit different from your standard card. These rare cards have names like Pokemon X or Pokemon GX, variations, bottom corner. Now we're just getting way out of my knowledge. Mewtwo, popular Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, card collection. Alright, that's enough for me. That's enough for a normie like me to understand what's going on here.
3.5 now.
In this case, I hope it's real.
Back in March of this year, this case came into my office. They asked for my opinion if the outside of this case had been tampered with, played with.
Did I not collect Pokemon cards when I was younger? You seem to forget how old I am. Pokemon was after my time. It would have been age unusual for me to be redoing Pokemon when I was a kid. Magic the Gathering was popular. I grew up in the Pogs era. Okay, we played Pogs. We had Slammer Jammers. I collected many a Pog. I have an entire original Pog set in my parents' basement somewhere, all in like, you know, nice little plastic and everything. Probably worth nothing, but still, I have it. It's real, you know. So there's that.
Reproduced in any way. You could see in this piece of seal that was put on there by Wizards of the Coast that this tape is aged onto this case.
Do I still have my slammers? I have I'm sure a
The
box
same
full of
embedded
fucking thousands of
lines
Pogs and
the
slammers
cardboard
and other
from
stuff.
age are in that label.
There's no evidence of tampering.
One edge would
So here's how it goes, I guess. People buy these mystery boxes. It's kind of like Storage Wars. And so you buy the mystery box and you buy the value of that box is the idea that within it is going to be some very rare cards. Probably some white stars, some gold stars, who knows, some Mewtwo's, whatever it is. We'll see.
look different.
In any way, shape, or form.
I did my diligence just like I do for a sports case.
Oh, yeah. Alright. I like
Little premature.
Starting early.
I mean, come on, guys. I ain't gonna be sober for this. Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah! Oh my god! Motherfucker! Wait, hold on. Okay, that's a good sign. What? Why are they so puffy? Why are they so puffy though? See how they're shaped all?
They don't look right.
They don't look right.
They don't look right? Uh-oh.
See how they're like they're curvy and puffy.
They're very light. They don't look right. Okay, let's get it going. Let's open more. Oh my god. That shit don't look good.
Oh no! Oh no! Why is it bending like that? Why is it bending like that? What's inside of him?
Dude.
Motherfucker. It's fucking fake, bro. It's fucking fake.
How would you know already?
Hold on.
Also, isn't this kind of a moment where you're like, by the way, buddy, fuck you. Like, I just lost like $1.3 million. I know that's like losing $20 to these people, but still, like, I just lost $1.3 million to you on a hunch. Kind of awkward.
Let's open a box.
Oh yeah, right. Oh.
Look at this bullshit.
Why doesn't this one say first edition on it?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No,
That's
not
gonna
like
be
this.
the
Mother.
Not like this. What's inside this?
Legal.
Oh my.
So, Cradbabe says something that could be true. This has to be staged. No one would spend $3.4 million on... Oops, sorry. No one would spend $3.4 million on cards without having them authenticated first. You don't have to open them up and authenticate them. That's the part of this whole thing I never understood when I saw it in Twitter yesterday. Or was it the day before? When I first saw it, like, everyone was talking about this. I was like... If you're gonna spend $3 million on cards, like, wouldn't you buy cards that people have been like, this is the rare card, here's the gold star Mewtwo, and you're like, okay, cool, I will buy that rare Pokemon card because it's something I want to collect as a collector. That's the exchange. Like, even Nicolas Cage, who's renowned for being just like way too wild with his money. He'll just be like, oh, Fabergé eggs for breakfast, and I want to buy 12 castles, and then I want to fucking crumble them, and then buy the first edition of Superman to use the toilet paper, all this kind of stuff. But even he gets like authenticated shit. Like when he bought the first copy of the Superman comic, like that was the actual first edition copy of it. So it's not like he's just buying garbage off the internet, you know? This feels to me more like, again, like a Storage Wars thing. Like the idea would be, okay, you roll the dice, we have this box, it could be filled with some very rare cards, it could be worth like $5 to $10 million. So that's why you roll the dice and you buy it. I'm selling the what-if rarity of the item, is kind of the idea here, right?
God, oh my God, bro. G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe! It could have been anything else.
And that's why you kids shouldn't buy NFTs. Let this be a lesson to you. This is what'll happen to every single one of you if you buy an NFT. You'll get G.I. Joe'd. Acting!
We all got duped. Agreed?
It's the biggest fraud in the entire history of Pokemon. So...
this tape on top is just embedded.
Is that true? Okay, hold on. Nintendo Life, Destructoid, Mobile Syrup. I don't trust Mobile Syrup. It sounds a little too Canadian for my taste. I mean, I can trust Nintendo Life. Oh yeah, we already talked about this a couple days ago. 2 LAPD officers fired for playing Pokemon Go and ignoring a robbery call. But they had to catch a very rare one. You gotta catch them all. You don't understand the pressure to catch them all, okay? You'll get hurt. Paul admits the entire group, including the authenticators, were fooled and shared the following final thoughts. I'm a super positive person, bro, and I'll always be the one to look on the bright side, and I'm trying, but this is very hard. It's just so sad for all parties involved. It's sad for the Pokemon community. Like how many fraudulent things are out there. I'm grateful for the things that I have that are real now. I'm picturing my Charizard in my head, something real, something worth a lot of money that's real. Damn, bro, I just, from 11 first edition boxes to 5, we got fucked. End of story. Are you surprised by the outcome of this? Share below. Don't know if we have any evidence either way. Logan Paul confirms that it was fake. I mean, every major outlet is saying, IGN, Kotaku, that he was duped. Oh, what's this? We have an update. Pokemon card seller reveals Logan Paul got his money back from the $3.5 million fake box. It turns out Logan Paul didn't actually lose $3.5 million, as Shine, the seller he bought the Pokemon cards from, has revealed that Paul was reimbursed. In the weeks after Logan Paul first picked up what he believed to be one-of-a-kind box edition of Pokemon cards for an insane $3.5 million, the group of collectors banded together with proof that the box is fake. On January 13th, Logan uploaded a video to his YouTube channel showing that he had opened the box alongside BBCE and Shine, the seller that he had purchased. He has revealed that he reimbursed him for the $3.5 million. Logan Paul was reimbursed the money. I lost $3.5 million on fake Pokemon cards. However, it appears that Logan is not actually out any money, and Shine has uploaded a response to the whole video on his Instagram stories explaining he reimbursed him. Wow. I wonder if Logan Paul's going to add that to the story. So maybe it's less that this whole thing was fake and more just like he didn't actually suffer any consequences for this, and now he gets to make a whole bunch of money from it, and is all over the news. 2.6 million views already.
If Jacob knew it was, that's where it gets. That's is where I'm at, right? There's gonna be a whole other process that goes into this. This is. I would have never purchased this if it wasn't BBC Rap. We only buy it because of that. But
this all smells like a tax avoidance scam by a guy who sold him the cards. Yeah, maybe it's just to launder money through Logan Paul. I don't know. Hey, the game is the game, you know? I mean, some people use laundromats, some people use, you know, boxing centers or whatever it is, and some people just use YouTube stars, you know? It's like, hey, you know, Logan, I need you to buy $3.5 million worth of Pokemon cards. Super rare. Come do it. You can make a video out of it.
because of that.
If you know A4Andre, he knows all about the stuff because that's his whole jam. No, that's true, actually. I should reach out to him. Let's see. A4Andre. Let me see. I'll see if I can get him on the show right now. Let's see if we can add some stuff, okay? Yeah, I could bring an expert. A4Andre is one of the biggest experts on Twitch about Pokemon cards, so he might be a person to talk to. All collector shit is a tax avoidance scam, all of it. If it was the guy who sold him the cards, the guy now has 3.5 million in untraced money. True. Logan Paul is his own personal Bermuda. Bermuda Paul. I love it. That's really funny. Hey, and this is all done in the open. No one can even claim that this is illegal, right? I mean, oh, you got scammed. I feel bad. You know, I got to return the money. Here you go. All your money's back. There you go, Paul. It's nice and clean for you. You know, it's been washed. Logan Paul made $18 million last year, so I cannot care if he got duped for 3.5 million. That's it? Just 18? Report. Jake Paul made 45 million in 2021. Logan got 18 million. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people got furious on the internet for Logan Paul making like a table out of Game Boys or something, but I was like, honestly, I don't know. If you're a hobbyist and you want to make shit out of like nerdy stuff, I'm totally fine with that. I didn't understand why everyone was losing their shit to that. But this one is kind of weird. This one doesn't really pass the smell test. You know, there's a lot of shit going on here. A lot of confusing shit going on here.
But
you keep wanting me to play this song, Gravitron. You've said it to me like 3 times today. Alright, let's finish this.
I felt confident. It was legit. It was good. G.I. Joe, bro.
G.I. Joe.
Please consider checking out Mobile Syrup. It's actually good Canadian tech news. Oh, okay, I'll do it.
Dude. Oh, man.
Lance, I know you're making maple cheddar. Some of us think 18 million is a lot of money. 18 million is a fuck ton of money. But you're talking about the world's 2 most famous YouTubers who also have so many things, like sponsorships up the ass. Fucking, you know, they've been doing this since the Disney money days. They like have 2 of the biggest channels on YouTube. Every one of their videos is getting millions of views. Has corporate sponsorships. On top of that, they have their like sports careers, which are fucking lucrative as shit. You know.
I'm a super positive person, bro. And I'll always be the one to look at the bright side. And I'm trying, but this is very hard. It's just so sad for all parties involved. It's sad for the Pokemon community. Like how many fraudulent things are out there. I'm grateful for the things that I have that are real now. I'm literally like, I'm picturing my Charizard in my head. Oh my God, holy shit. Like something real. Something worth a lot of money that is real. Damn, bro, I just went from... I just went from 11 first edition boxes to 5. No.
I think the Game Boy thing, I think the Game Boy thing is just because the toy's out of production, so they're scarce and it's a rich person buying them. Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, like, I don't just hate rich people by nature of them being rich, right? Like, I might hate super rich people who also do very shitty things, like Elon Musk, right? Or people who exploit millions and millions of workers to get where they are. And I'm not saying Logan Paul doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he's got a whole team of staff who do shit for him. But just, like, I would rather change the systems that create people like that also leave people who are, like, you know, without homes, food, all that kind of stuff. Like that's what I'm trying to transform through my advocacy. But just by nature of hating a rich person just for being rich is kind of like, it's kind of fruitless, right? I mean, like, I don't want there to be a system in which billionaires can arise. Let me say that. And I want to change that. I want to change the system so a billionaire cannot exist by nature. Of the only way to become a billionaire would either be by inheriting it or by exploiting tens of thousands of people to get that huge. Or, of course, by investing a whole bunch of money into Doge at the right time. Yes, we can't forget that. People can be mad at more things than one. Yes, they certainly can.
Yeah, to 5. We got end of story.
Fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
That's it. Let's see. Logan Paul scammed. I bet CoffeeZilla probably knows something about this. Something just doesn't sit right with me about the story. Oh, here we go. CoffeeZilla did something about this. Oh no, that's 4 months ago for his crypto art. God damn it. You gotta get working, CoffeeZilla. I went bald to save the children. Stop saving children, CoffeeZilla. I wanna learn things. Fake guru tier list. Ugh. Alright, well, whenever he figures it out.
It looked like good content.
And the stuffed animals and collectibles and Pokemon. Now kids are going just wild
A first edition booster box used to sell for around $100,000 in August of this year, and now resells for over $300,000.
This game, these trading cards. In the last report, the mother said these are collector's items.
And it all started with Logan Paul. On October 3rd, Logan Paul bought a $200,000 box of Pokemon cards that he was planning on unboxing live on his live stream. And when he did this, the interest of the first edition cards started to skyrocket.
So the first thing I did was find an expert.
The first thing I did was find an expert, Logan Paul says. This man here is the quote-unquote Pokemon expert, aka the collectible guru. And here's where the problem lies. The collectible guru and his shady Pokemon card practices.
A first edition English base set.
You know who he sounds like? This is like Chris Angel. If you don't know, Pokemon...
Oh yeah, a little bit. I'll give you that one, XQC. Coffin's TikTok is really cringe. Oh god. Is it too... I don't know if I want to see it. Let's take a quick gander at Peter Coffin's TikTok. I'm the best TikTok person.
That's a slick beat. Feel like I can be real with y'all for the first time. I shit my pants. Can't believe that I shit my pants, but it's true. I shit my pants. My pants on and I'm filled up with shit.
I'm glad to see he's evolved from his early days of making song parodies on YouTube. You know, that's what he used to do all the time. Like, there was so many different song parodies. The audio's out of sync and the video of it is on Twitch. Wow. By the way, Canadians always run down Canada, fess up. It's a ploy to keep us Yanks from storming your border as healthcare and education. I'm so jealous. Thank you, The Big Room, for the 300 biddies. I don't know if that's the ploy. I mean, we keep sending the worst of the worst down south. That's why you get all the fucking, the Lauren Chens and the Lauren Southerns and the Crowders and all the
card
worst.
collecting is a huge business right now.
This is the rarest box you can have.
They opened the booster box up and it turned out that it was a fake.
I would say that collectible guru is highly sus.
He is still a scummy piece of fully invested in Pokemon for profit.
In my opinion, it looked good.
Who's this host again? It was 1 year ago. Logan Paul's expert and the biggest scam in Pokemon history, the collectible guru. This is all from a year ago? So he's been doing this shit for a while.
Collectible Guru is no one of them. In fact, he is hated by the Pokemon trading card community.
What is your opinion on Collectible Guru? If you guys have ever played the game Among Us, I would say that Collectible Guru
you're good,
is
Baldwin.
highly sus.
I would not trust him with my money. I would not trust him with my cards. I would not trust him with my time.
Oh, A4Andre! Hey, did you get my message? Hold up. Let me open Discordio. Bring you on. Maybe you can fill in the gaps for us. Sweet impromptu interview. A4, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Going great. How you been?
Been a while, Lance.
It has been a while. It's nice to hear your soothing voice, though.
Pokemans. How are your side of things? How's Twitch politics? Is it still BreadTube or?
No, BreadTube got infiltrated by the CIA, so I had to abandon them. Now I'm going full YeastTube and CrumbTube, whichever one comes out supreme. You know.
I really don't like the. I hope CrumbTube. I'm not a fan of YeastTube. It's
kind of gross. Like yeah, no, neither do I. I mean, it's not the greatest branding, but I'll say this: it's doing all right with certain demographics. Oh, people are asking if I'm on CumTube. No, not yet. A4. Well, first off, hey, what can you plug yourself, introduce yourself to everybody, anyone who's not familiar with your incredible skills?
So I'm A4Andre. I've gone down a long Twitch road. I've been on the platform probably like 8 years. I don't know. I started out as a professional fighting game player, traveled around the world. That was fun. I had a day job at like a mixed martial arts gym, and then that stopped because of COVID. I couldn't wrestle guys anymore and gals, and non-binary pals. So I had to find something else. So I jumped into Twitch politics and had fun with that for a bit. There's absolutely no money in it. So if you need money, I wouldn't recommend it, but there is money in that. All the Pokemon cards behind me have been like a really lucrative business this past year. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
And that's also twitch.tv/A4Andre, right?
Sure. If you're inclined to buy Pokemon cards, sure, come hang out. But I've actually been wanting to hop into spaces like this and engage a little bit more. I'm quite like bored. No, I wouldn't say bored or burnt out, but I just want to have conversations that matter. So who knows? I might be back in YeastTube. No.
See, it doesn't have a ring to it. Does not roll off the tongue.
Doesn't work. But I'd love to come hang out more. What about you? Your stream has been I saw a conversation with Chud, but I haven't seen much else. How have things been over here?
Oh, things have been good. I mean, I think Twitch politics got a lot wilder, a lot definitely more dangerous, and definitely more volatile and reactionary. So that's unfortunate. But you know, things have been relatively cozy on this side of the aisle, and you know, everyone seems to be doing all right. I mean, it's funny. You're like, I want to get into maybe more political stuff and spread out, but I'm actually pulling you on here to combine both politics and Pokemon, because I have some questions, and immediately someone reminded me, and I was like, oh, that's right, A4Andre, he knows his shit, and not only does he know his shit, but like I can actually maybe reach out to him, maybe he'll be able to come on right away, so I really appreciate this.
But thank you whoever recommended me. I don't know my shit, but yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I'm sure you've heard the headlines already. Logan Paul has effectively lost $3.5 million in investing in some very rare Pokemon cards. And I have so many questions. I don't know if you've seen the video. I don't know if you've watched it.
Yeah, I've seen Logan Paul's short video. I like heard about this months ago. I'm like, let's just get right to it. Is this legit or not? Did Logan Paul actually take any risk? I don't think so. If you don't invest $3 million without doing a little bit of prior research on this. So I'm not sure how much, because I see you've been watching breakdowns, and Logan Paul's video, he doesn't break it down too much, but there was like an original seller before in his video that sold it on, I believe it was like selling it on eBay, and the interested party wanted to see the box before they could purchase it. This is long ago, and the original seller said no. And that's when people first started to suspect it was sketch, and then everybody kind of distanced themselves from the box. But then there was a buyer who I think Logan mentions in his video, bought it. I took it to the sports card group, I forget the name of the group, to authenticate the box. And I mean, they didn't do a great job, but it's really not their niche. They do baseball cards typically, I believe. So to no one's surprise, he's now opened the box and it's not real. But I mean, like, I think he knew. I mean, I think this is for content. There's really no risk. He's going to get a refund from the person he bought it from. The bald gentleman in the video playing behind me is going to refund him. He's going to get his money back. So it was probably for content, right?
Content, or some people are suggesting potential money laundering, or is that one too hardcore? Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this may be a stretch, but it's possible and it's spicy. We could talk about it. But I think honestly, the more direct route would be to create a YouTube video that gets quite a few views and then get your money back. It's like, seems pretty cut and dry, probably.
Okay. Well, first question being, if you are going to buy something of this nature, is it typical for someone to spend that amount of money just to buy a box without any knowledge of what is inside? Because I felt this was like Storage Wars. Like, maybe the idea is that the allure is inside the box. There could be, I don't know, like $10 million worth of value in the Pokemon cards that are present, right? And so you're like, okay, I'll roll the dice. Maybe they're really shitty cards. Maybe they're not even Pokemon cards, but that's why I'm willing to spend this money on a sealed box. Is that why someone would do something like this?
Yeah, so a sealed box, so there's two things. There's definitely a risk when you buy a sealed box that it won't have the most valuable Pokemon in it. But the risk of like, are these cards legitimate or not? This is not one that's like taken lightly. You roll the dice on whether, in fact, this is the one you want, Charizard. Also, my website, if you wanted to buy Pokemon cards, is only Zards, like OnlyFans, only Charizards, only Zards.com, because everybody wants the Zard. One of these is sold at auction in a perfect 10 grade for about, I think the highest one is 350,000. So the goal would be in each of these boxes to find one or two, maybe $350,000 Pokemon cards. Now that risk was the one Logan was willing to take, but I mean, him opening it and getting packs of G.I. Joe cards was not I think it was a calculated risk, but I think he's being dishonest about that part. He knew it was probably fake, bought that box for the content, but if it all pans out, he may open up a lot of Charizards, which could be worth hundreds of thousands and maybe even millions, and make his investment back.
What about when they first opened the big box and then they're suddenly like, oh, whoa, it looks weird. The top's different. What's going on here? And then there was some G.I. Joes inside there as well. But like, was the whole thing like, okay, first explain that, and then B, is there still actual authentic Pokemon cards inside those other boxes?
No. So none of these boxes contain anything of value. They've been stuffed with like G.I. Joe packs. And what's really funny is the boxes he's opening, they are so valuable that the empty cardboard that contains them, so not like the cards, not the packs, but just that box itself, people buy as a collector's item. They'll buy that box, frame it in acrylic, and just an empty box will be worth hundreds of dollars. So, I mean, if it is legit and it has that first edition stamp and it is the old Pokemon cards, it could be extremely valuable. But the moment they cracked that case open, they saw that the coloring wasn't right, that the boxes were sort of like inflated or puffy. I mean, there was a lot of signs that it wasn't good. And you can see here as they open the box, none of the packs are even Pokemon card packs. But there are more elaborate fakes that will have actual boxes, actual Pokemon card packs, but have like the Charizards or whatever the chase cards are removed. That's a scam that happens. But that's obviously a more intricate one. The real value in this is the sealed case. I could grab, actually, so this is the case of booster boxes. So what happens is, in here you would hunt for a Charizard. It's even got a Charizard on the front, right?
Move you back
and these boxes are quite valuable. So if we're talking about a first edition box, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars for this box, right?
What?
And the thing that Logan Paul found was a sealed case. So when Pokemon ships me these, I get them exactly from Professor Oak. They come sealed, and this is more valuable, the sealed unit, than the individual boxes. Now, the ones he's opening are from the early 90s. So imagine not just a sealed box, but 6 of them, and they're sealed like unit. That's quite valuable. And I don't think one exists. It doesn't seem like anyway.
Okay. So is it common then for this whole thing from the ground up is counterfeit, right? Like this was made by some third party. I don't know where that industry is located, but so this whole thing is counterfeit. That is typical. Is it typical they go to these lengths? Like even the outer box that has been sealed apparently was enough for people to be like, that is definitely from the era. Like that looks like it's 90s era, container.
Yeah. So again, just to clarify the terminology, we see a lot of like boxes that get resealed and are counterfeit, but that was technically called a case.
Yeah.
We don't see any cases that are counterfeit, and it did look semi-legitimate, but the story it just stunk. Most collectors knew to stay away from this case because the story just didn't look good, and you wouldn't invest this much unless you had some sort of like return policy like Logan Paul had and wanted to create some content. And honestly, it would be great content. If I had 3.5 million to invest and then get right back, it would make a hell of a YouTube video, 100%. But I don't
Why would someone on the other end take the risk of giving a return policy when they're carrying a counterfeit product? Or did they not know they had a counterfeit product?
Yeah, so the gentleman, I think it's the gentleman behind me right now, the bald guy Shine. I think to varying degrees, he believed the product was legit. And here's the thing: if you don't sell to a Logan Paul who's going to open it, it could change hands many times before we know if it's counterfeit or not. And you may believe it actually is legitimate. So I could sell it to Lance, and Lance may sell it to OnlyFacts TV, and they may sell it, and then it may never even come back to me, right? I may just gain a profit from it, which is like, yay, capitalism. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that this exists in this way, because the hobby is fun. Collecting Pokemon cards is something I did when I was a kid, and I really loved it. Did you ever have like Pokemon cards when you were younger? Or?
No, that I was telling everybody that was a little past, pre my time. But I had Pogs, so I collected many Pogs, and I've got the whole Pog set and all that kind of stuff. So
you got Slammers.
I got Slammers too. Got the Slammer Jammers. Got me some solid Slammers. Don't use the ones that are look like serrated saws. Those are they're all aesthetics. They're not good Slammers. Okay, you want a heavy, nice, solid Slammer that can slam down. Posers use the serrated saw ones. That's all I'll say. But
most people don't know PogChamp comes from the Pogs. Did you know that?
I didn't know that was the origin. I only knew about the fact that Gutex had made that face back in the day, and that's what they ended up using.
Gutex, pro fighting game player, and I mean, we used to be friends. We don't talk anymore. Obviously, differing views. But he had a commercial for a fight stick. This is weird because I do fighting games. He had a commercial for a fight stick, and he stacked up Pogs, and then he threw the fight stick as if it were a slammer, that like big arcade joystick, on the Pogs. And he was like, "Wow, this even works for Pogs." It was like a really bad commercial, and he does the face. And then that was like PogChamp. That's where Twitch got the.
Oh, wild! Oh, the origin story.
Learning a lot today.
One of the other things I wanted to ask you about, like this whole process, could the guy have been doing this as well? I guess as an opportunity to meet Logan Paul, hang out with Logan Paul, and where does this stuff go on for sale? Like, is it typical? Is it eBay usually? And like, would someone just post literally put this for $1.5 million on eBay, and then no one would laugh that off the site?
Yeah, so 100% you would do this to meet Logan Paul. If you're the seller and you're selling to a Logan Paul, the downside is he's going to open it, and potentially you'll find out that your product is fake. But the upside, like you said, is huge. If you're networking or maybe content creating, or maybe this is just advertising or marketing for your business, you're hanging out with Logan Paul, millions of viewers. So sure, yeah, there's risk and reward to selling this to Logan Paul. I think you know, he weighed it. And the other question was, how often does this happen? How often do big boxes go? So just to be fair, I largely deal in like modern product stuff that's come out in the last few years, which isn't quite as expensive. I'm not like a hyper capitalist yet. I think
go to the website, everybody.
Yeah, I think older product like this certainly exists on eBay, but the thing that made it particularly sketch was that the seller didn't have a lot of like previous auctions. So if you're ever buying a product, and I don't know if anyone is ever going to hear this, but if you were buying a product on eBay that was in excess of $1,000, you're buying a $5,000 box of Pokemon cards, maybe you have the disposable income and you love it. You need to know that this is like a verified seller with a lot of sales and like reviews. But this guy who sold this box originally on eBay, and I don't remember the original amount, did not have a lot of sales, did not have a lot of reviews. I mean, like I said, this thing stunk from the beginning. Most collectors knew. I think Logan Paul bought it for content, but yeah, this does exist on eBay. I don't know about millions. So when it sold originally, sure, it could be on eBay. Right now, I don't know. Is there some sort of limit to eBay? How much they allow you to sell and buy? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head either. I was thinking though that, I mean, since no one's explained where the box came from, wherever he got it from, that is probably the closest thing to who's ever getting this from a third-party illegal manufacturer, right? And scam people.
And you do see like auctions. So you'll see auctions to varying degrees in the hundreds of thousands. So I would imagine you could buy a box or a card from an auction that's worth millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yeah, this was sketch from the beginning.
That's wild. Is there like a big thing where the Pokemon community or the collector community, they see something like this and they're like sketchy? Does this still happen frequently, or is this a rarity? Like you said, you knew about this sale before Logan Paul even bought it, so clearly, I guess you're just in those circles.
Yeah. So what Logan Paul does for Pokemon collecting is good and it's bad. It sort of brings attention to the hobby, which I like because as a shop owner, this more kids are interested or young adults are interested in Pokemon cards, which is great. But it's sort of unfortunate because the boxes he's opening, I literally have these cards from my childhood, and I would love to open some, but because of the limelight brought on them, they're worth, like I said, hundreds of thousands, and I don't have the means to like buy a box like that. So it's sort of unfortunate that he's inflating the hobby a little bit. I'm sorry, I shied away from the original question just because I'm sort of heartbroken that I'll never get to open one of these. But what was the original? What did you ask?
Well, more is that did everyone know about this in the Pokemon world? Like, were you already well aware of this before Logan Paul came on? It was like content, let's buy that and get my refund afterwards, kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of us were keyed in. There were a lot of like smaller Pokemon blogs that were talking about the origins of the case, and like most of us knew, and that's why I don't believe that Logan Paul didn't know. If I know Logan Paul's not going to spend $3 million on a box he doesn't know, because he's actually a legit collector. He has 5 other booster boxes that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in sealed acrylic cases. He's done large auctions. It's not like he's new to it and got scammed. This is like 100%. This is content, right? So
yeah.
Through and through.
Or potentially money laundering for the more interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to pitch this theory to me? So Logan Paul buys box, but if he's gonna get a refund on it, I mean.
Well, it's less Logan Paul's doing it for the content, and this other guy is using it to turn Logan Paul into a Bermuda, so it becomes Bermuda Paul. He's basically washing his money through the process. I mean, obviously, that's based on zero evidence. I have no that is not a factual statement. I'm just throwing out theories. That's just a theory, a Pokemon theory, but I don't know. I thought that one was kind of interesting too.
Hey, I've got a question for you. The Pokemon shop has been doing pretty well, and I've had this conversation with other folks. But I mean, like, what are your thoughts on like? I have a value set that I like. I've done really well this last year, and who knows, maybe we'll do really well this year. I've even hired someone to help me ship out Pokemon cards because I have hundreds of orders and I need to help shipping them out. Otherwise, I can't stream as consistently as I'd like. But I don't know much about worker-owned co-ops and percentages, and like I love the idea. I'm not attached to any socioeconomic system, but I don't know. I wonder what the efficacy or where my morals and execution should be about hiring folks and how much money is too much money. I'm not Logan Paul Millions, right? We're still in the thousands category, but when you talk about running a small business and how to handle like perhaps hiring folks and making a lot of money or too much money, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts would be this. I think like anything else, if you're establishing this business, everything you do in the current economic system that we have, capitalism, right? There's varying degrees of how much it's a give and take. How much am I going to, be exploitative in the system? Am I going to maximize my profits and be a Scrooge McDuck versus how much like I'm trying to improve the lives of not only people around me, but, the world at whole. And everyone does that balance for everything, right? Like you might drive a car, even though it's bad for the environment. You might eat a steak, even though, it's really cruel that animals are in captivity, whatever that is, right? So you try and strike the balance that works best for you. I think at the very minimum, if you are going to have employees as an employer, that you should make sure that they are taken care of, right? Like you shouldn't be doing you shouldn't be doing contract work with them where they're paid minimum wage, work terrible hours, don't get overtime, and you're just trying to maximize the amount of money your business makes at the cost of another human being suffering, right? And you don't strike me as that kind of person. So giving them a living wage, giving them access to healthcare, stuff like that, that is still I would say a step up above what a massive company might do, right? And then if you want to take it a step further, because you're in a position to do so, and you're with someone you trust, you can always approach them. You don't necessarily have to give them half of the company, and then that's the only way the system works, right? If you form your own corporation, you can then determine in the amount of shares that you have how much you would want to give to somebody so that they have some skin in the game. And again, scale that up based on how much work do they do for you, how much do they help your company, how much do you think they're worth, and also you can have that in a contract that if they want to leave for whatever reason, they can then give the shares back to you so you can give to someone else who works for you, right? And scale that up. And then statistically, what most of the studies show is not only if you're doing it for, I guess, like the moral or right reasons, it does tend to create a much better work dynamic for companies, right? Because the people are more satisfied. They're happier going into a job that they actually have a stake in. It's not just like, oh, this guy pays me minimum wage so I can pay my bills and keep the lights on, right? It's kind of like, I'm part of something that I care about because I'm actually like a co-owner in this kind of thing. So that's how I would approach that. It's like anything else. My personal recommendation would be to go for a co-op, right? But again, if you were someone who's treating people better, like it's the same thing. There's some lefties who are like, all landlords are bastards and deserve the guillotine or something, right? Well, there's definitely a scale of how people are landlords. There's ruthless ones who are just like, I'm going to increase your rent as much as I can every single year. If you get kicked out, I don't care if you're a grandmother, you're out on the street and I'm putting in someone who can afford the rent, right? And then there's like the mom and the pop who are like, I'm never going to increase your rent, even though you've lived here for 20 to 30 years. I just take your money to help pay for my retirement. It's not ideal, right? But I'm saying there's a scale here between the two in terms of how much exploitation they're doing. I'm not saying either are correct, but I'm just saying it's the same thing with running a company, right? So you can be a ruthless boss who again manipulates and just works the shit out of your workers to exploit and extract as much surplus labor out of them, or you can try to make their lives better and or scale up, right? It's like anything else in life.
Yeah, so currently we're doing like almost double minimum wage in Colorado because that's where we're at. But it's only a couple days a week. But I would love to have someone like really invested. If you're in Colorado and you like Pokemon cards, I would love to have someone who's as into the business as I am and would love like a portion of it. I think it would be really cool to have a co-op. And obviously I'll do more research into it. But I just have a new person helping with me with shipping, so I was like, maybe I'll run it by Lance.
That's cool. No, I really like that. And one other thing that Chad has been wanting me to ask you, since I think they're all excited that a Pokemon expert is here. A lot of people are saying, hey, I've got all my original 95 Pokemon cards. Should I try to cash them in? What should I do if I think they're valuable? How do I go about this?
Yeah, so if you have your old Pokemon cards, they're not worth anything. Send them to me. I'll take them. No, I'm completely joking. In fact,
I was like, God damn. You think Logan Paul's a scammer? Here comes A4Andre with the grift.
I got you. I would love to have your old collection, but if you want to send it to me, I'll pay you fairly. But I'll show you two of them. So these are from the 90s. These are actually from when I was a little kid. I got back into the hobby because I wanted to do retro gaming. I was like, maybe I can do retro gaming videos. Instead, I found these. And was like, let's try Pokemon. So here are two really old cards from the 90s that are worth a little bit of money. And here's how you know whether your collection is worth like thousands or hundreds of thousands. I'm gonna throw them in the camera pretty close up. Hopefully this helps.
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
This is what's called a base set first edition Alakazam. I feel like my fingernails are dirty. Normally I'm clean, but we're headed to the post office. This is a base set first edition Alakazam, and you can tell that it is first edition because of this stamp. So if you have any Pokemon cards with this stamp on them, it's likely that they're worth a little bit of money. Now, largely whether it's valuable or not depends on the grade the card gets. So if it's in immaculate condition and grades a 10, you could be looking at thousands of dollars. If it doesn't grade well, you're in the...
when you say thousands of dollars, does that need that little? So I learned on the internets just before you came on that the star in the bottom right corner denotes that it's of it goes what circle, diamond, star in terms of its value, and so the star is the highest, and then it's what color the star is can denote even higher value. So the card you're holding there, first edition with the star in the bottom right corner. What are we talking? I'm just curious because you're saying thousands of dollars, like.
So star is not star. The star grade. Whoever said that is like half right. The star grade on the bottom is even on modern Pokemon cards. They use circle to denote common. They use diamond to denote uncommon, and then star for rare. But there are millions of rare cards in production that are worth nothing. That star stamp is not what you should be looking for. What you're looking for is the first edition stamp under the picture. So just right here, there's a little circular. We get in even closer. That's a first edition stamp. This means it is of the first print of these cards. So not only was this card made in the 90s, it is the first print. So this is a first print Alakazam. And if it grades, so I don't send my cards off for grading because I'm not too interested in selling them. I just love them because they're mine from when I was a kid. But if I sent this in and it graded a 10, maybe 10 grand for this. But with no grade on it, it's probably worth hundreds. So again, if it's old and it's in great shape and it grades well, thousands. Here's the one that everybody's talking about. This is from when I was a kid. This does not have the first edition stamp, but this is the Charizard that everybody's chasing. So it's a couple years older because it doesn't have that stamp, so it's not worth nearly as much. But if you have either of these two, being first edition or very old Charizard, the fire Pokemon, these are the two that you really want to either get appraised or go to a local shop. If you go to your local shop, do not sell it to them, but you can ask them questions about it. A lot of shops are great and they'll give you good opinions. Just be careful. Don't sell on the spot. Do some research into how old the card is. You can search PSA, which is a grading service, and they have population reports. So they'll say only 10 of these have been graded. If you have 1 of 10 of these cards in graded condition, it's very valuable. But if you go to PSA's population report and there's 1,000 of them, obviously there's a ton of your card and it's not going to be as valuable. So it's fairly complicated, but if you see that first edition stamp like this guy, the little circle right above my finger, that first edition stamp can be quite valuable. Or if you have a Charizard and it's old, it'll actually say the date on the bottom here. This one probably says like 93. I have no idea what year. But old Charizards, first edition stamps, those are quite valuable. Get them appraised. Or send them to your favorite Pokemon streamer, twitch.tv/A4Andre. I'll take them.
One last question I want to ask you. Do you ever get this weird like temptation when you stare down at that you're looking at like $10,000? Are you ever just like, I could fucking buy a boat, a couple PS5s, and just have myself a weekend just by this little card that's in front of me, you know, this real NFT, this analog NFT that I have before me right now.
I did really well this year. My house is almost paid off. I bought a new car. It was sort of a tax write-off. I don't know if that's like immoral or that might be against the terms of BreadTube. A vehicle.
It's okay. BreadTube is dead. It's got infiltrated by the CIA.
Okay. Yeah, YeastTube doesn't mind. I got a new vehicle. My house is almost paid off. I'm doing pretty well financially this past year, so I'm not worried about money. But I'll tell you what I do get the itch for. When I see a brick of Pokemon, like this has 36 packs in it, I just want to fucking open it. I really want to open it. I can't. That's the hard part.
But it's more valuable as a brick than it is. What if inside is a couple of rare ones? Like, isn't that the dice?
Yeah, but the odds are. I mean, it's gambler's fallacy. The odds are not in your favor. It's worth more sealed. I have to leave it sealed. How
much is a sealed brick? Just out of curiosity.
So this one's probably about $140, $150. There is a Charizard in here that's probably worth that amount. So if you open it and get the Charizard, the box more than pays for itself. But if you open it and you don't get the Charizard, then you've lost money. So as a business owner, I have to not open this, which is the real temptation.
Yeah, but you do shows every now and then when you just like unboxing or like I don't know what's called unsleeving.
Yeah, just a quick commercial from my thing. What I do is you buy the packs and we open them live. That way everybody gets to share in the excitement and the joy. So if you get a good card, we all freak out together. And if you get bad cards, we all experience sadness together. So I open everything live. Awesome. I don't sell anything sealed. I open all of it live on stream. And then whatever the best cards are, obviously I send them to you. But yeah, we open everything live on stream. I don't sell sealed product. But the temptation would be just like, A4Andre, all for Andre, just open it all and have a blast. So yeah, that's what we're fighting. Not getting high on our own supply, as it were.
Quick 2 questions from the chat. How do you shop? How do you source the cards? And the second one is, what's the probability of getting the first edition Charizard in the boosters?
Yeah, so I have an Epson in the back. I just print all the cards myself. I don't go.
Hell yeah.
So as a shop owner, as you said earlier, you have to file a corporation. You have to jump through some hoops if you want to open up a Pokemon card shop. And this way, you can obviously go to Target and buy cards and then sell them. There's no rules or laws against this as long as you pay sales tax. But I have a sales tax license. I'm a registered LLC. I go through those steps. I went through them over a year ago. We've been in business for about a year now. And then Pokemon prints the cards, and then they send them to distributors. Distributors handle the logistics and send me the cases of cards. So largely the supply that I get is from distributors from Pokemon. So they're almost directly from the source. This also eliminates fear of like tampering or fake cards. So you know the stuff you get from Only Zards is legit because I get it from the hands. And what was the second question about? I'm sorry.
What's the probability of getting the first edition Charizard in the booster?
Yeah, so the Charizard is, I would say it's probably a coin flip. Again, I don't personally open first edition boxes, but I've seen Logan Paul do it, and it breaks my heart every time. I'm so jealous. But I would say maybe 1 in 3 of those first edition boxes will have a Charizard. So it's really not bad odds for the boxes he's opening. Probably, I would say 1 in 3 will have a Charizard. There have been boxes that have multiple, so you could open a box that has 2 Charizards, and this would be profitable for you. But again, it's a gambling thing. There's also Chansey is very valuable. So you have your 3 starters, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Those are all pretty valuable and good grades. And then you have Chansey, which unfortunately hasn't been printed well. When I say printed well, it'll be, so like a border will be off. This will be thicker than the other border, and that'll reduce the grade of the card. And there's not a lot of like perfect Chanseys out there. So Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, and then like a really pristine Chansey is what you're looking for. And you'll see one of those, Chansey, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, every box. Charizard maybe 1 in every 3 if you get lucky, 2 in a box. So it's pretty random. Man, how cool would it be to open a box? You don't know Logan Paul, do you?
Well, I mean, outside of the controversies and the history and all that kind of stuff, right? But I don't watch his content, so I'm not familiar with his Pokemon unboxings.
Well, I meant personally. Do you know him? Could you put me in touch?
Oh no. There's tiers, right? Of like internet famous people, right? And like I'd say he's like a couple above Hassan. And I've kind of like I've lost contact with Hassan, right?
No. I think you and Hassan close.
No, God, no. That's mathematically ridiculous. I get like, okay, when things are popping off here, we'll have like 800 live viewers, but typically it's like, 5 to 7 kind of thing. Hassan has like 40,000 human beings watching him all the time. That's a stadium. He has like, just picture that. Have you ever visualized that? It is a literal stadium of people, and he's in the center ice in the very middle there, just standing there watching fucking Top Chef. Like that's what his job is. Is in the middle of a stadium to watch Top Chef.
Yeah, he is insane, and I understand the scale of it. Obviously, I'm joking. One of my best customers, and this is a brag, this is a flex, and I'm not being humble about it. One of my best customers is Amaranth. She comes through pretty frequently, once or twice a week to get like serious as cancer. I'm not making this up. Awesome. She comes through and gets Pokemon cards. Largely, her audience and my audience will just buy them for her. But there was a time where she was rating me frequently, like a couple times a week, and I couldn't handle it. I have to be honest. This was like 10,000 viewers.
10,000 viewers out of nowhere.
Yes, and I want to be clear. I'm prepared as a streamer to handle 10,000 viewers. I've been on the platform long enough. I can tell the dick jokes and like meme in front of 10,000 people, but opening packs frantically with 10,000 people ordering was insane. I actually got sick. I had to like, hey, Amaranth, no more hosts, please. And like, I'm actually really comfortable like in the 40 to 50 viewer range when people are buying cards because it's so much extra work. And I know this sounds crazy. Every streamer wants 1,000 views. I don't. I really don't. Imagine I have a Pokemon card shop and there's 10,000 customers and I have no one working with me. I physically cannot. Do you know what I mean? I just can't. So I get what you're saying about scale, and holy shit, I think they have a pretty challenging job, the larger streamers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like I'm when I say that wasn't meant to be like belittling, as in like he just sits in the middle of a stadium and watches Top Chef. It was like, no, he sits in the middle of a stadium with 40,000 people watching him. Oh, doggo.
Yeah, the dogs don't like the Pokemon. It takes up too much time. They get needy. Yeah. No, scale is huge, insane, these content creators, but good on them for pulling it off and providing content.
Tell her if you speak to her next. Tell her we really enjoyed her documentary on Vice. That was the last. That was the last thing we watched.
I saw you watching it. Did you skip? There were a couple of dicey parts.
Hopefully I just roasted the VOD afterwards. Like midway through it, I was like, you know what? I could do the thing where I'm just like trying to fast forward back and forth, and I could have pre-watched this, which I didn't. But yeah, no, there's just full on nudity, except they've like selectively blurred exactly where, like, just ever. But it's well beyond TOS. No, it's not a TOS friendly segment by any means. No, but no, it was interesting. I thought what it did really well is it humanizes her, because I've always thought that people like her and any of the so-called like hot tub meta or the booba streamers and all like that, the neckbeards on the internet do a really good job of being like, they vilify them and they kind of make them seem just like nothing more than like a 2D sex object, right? And they get really mad at them for that reason. And then when you see that documentary, you're like, no, this is an actual human being, right? Who's like, you know, trying to fundraise money to save animals and is incredibly intelligent and nice and all that kind of stuff. There's more than the booba. Not that like I have any shame for any of that kind of stuff. It's wonderful to be gorgeous, to be a gorgeous model on the internet, I'm sure, and she is, but like also there's more to it than just the booba.
Yeah, her chat is actually insane. I don't know how much of her you watch, but whenever we started becoming friends, I would say we're buddies now, but I started to watch her chat and I noticed the pattern is literally just like someone sexualizes her as like, you know, like sleep with me and then shame. It's literally just sex, shame, sex, shame, sex, shame, sex, shame. Wow. So like, I don't know. I mean, that type of scrutiny is insane, but hopefully the doc, like you said, helps people visualize her as like who she is, a human being who like loves and cares about animals. And yeah, she's dope. She's cool as fuck. And she knows, fun fact, she knows way more about Pokemon than me and most nerds on the internet. I know all the Pokemon. I don't know the trainers. So like, obviously I know Ash Ketchum, but there will be a card with a trainer and a Pokemon. She'll have to tell me. She literally will, as she's doing ASMR, she'll type on the keyboard the name of the trainer. Cause I don't know the trainers. She's the real nerd. I'm like I'm the fake gamer. You know, people are like, you're a fake gamer just trying to get dudes money. I'm the fake gamer trying to get dudes money. She's the real Pokemon nerd. I promise. And to God, I swear.
That's so funny. Oh man. Hey, are you streaming now? I'm about to end. I can raid into you if you want.
No, I gotta go. I would love a raid of this size, but I have to go drop off Pokemon cards at the post office. But I will be streaming tonight. If you guys want some cards, definitely pop by. And Lance, I'd love to hang out again soon.
Yes.
Whenever, just DM me. Always available.
Yeah, thank you so much for just doing this impromptu. I forgot how pleasant you are to chat to. We have great talks.
Absolute pleasure. Hit me up anytime. I love you, brother. Have a great evening.
Love you too. Ciao.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we beseech thee to smite down our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble court jesters, here to amuse you. To our lords, Trevor R., we give thanks for this spit of land for us to eke out this meager existence. To our knights, Merid, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Ellie Leslie, Alex P., Brandon, Words Greenwood, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Val 9000, Jenna Tall, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Yanis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our flag in a veil, and we salute you, our friends.